test positive, forcing too many scholarship players to be under quarantine to properly field their team. To the NFL, Drew Brees is downplaying his shoulder injury, but he worked off to the side with no patch today. It's unclear if that will affect his status for Sunday night showdown in Tampa against the Bucs. Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill would be in line to start if Brees can't go. The Chiefs placed defensive tackle Chris Jones on the COVID-19 list due to contact tracing. The defending Super Bowl champ said earlier that a staff member had tested positive. No word of Jones will be cleared before Sunday's Panthers game. And the Houston Open became the first PGA Tour event to allow fans in attendance since the pandemic first shut down the tour back in the spring. Highlights of the Houston Open and live reaction that is coming up later in the program. But first, Sage.
Well, fans, that's good to see, isn't it?
Good.
It's the little things in life these days. Yeah, to your point, it's time to kick off Week 9 in the NFL with a Packers-Niners matchup that's going to look a little bit different than we thought coming in, that's for sure. Take a look at the storylines. All eyes will be on Santa Clara tonight. The 4-4 Niners play host to the 5-2 Packers with the home team down a couple of key players. How about quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo out at least 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain, and his star tight end George Kittle out 8 weeks with a broken bone in his foot. Both went on IR today. The Packers, they'll be looking to bounce back from that loss to the Vikings that dropped them to 5-2 on the season. Green Bay does
with all these players being placed on reserve COVID-19, there has to be a chance that this game is going to be pushed back, right? But when I spoke to one particular individual last night, he said there was a, quote, 0.0% chance that this game would be moved. And I think it provides a window into the league's thinking. The league is determined to forge ahead. It's why 16-player practice squads were established, because you can pull up players and replace players that are on reserve COVID lists. That's how it works. And so I don't think the league gave any consideration, real consideration, to pushing back this game, postponing this game, moving this game, despite the fact that the Packers are essentially missing their running backs, the 49ers are missing their wide receivers. The show, in the league's opinion, goes on.
Maybe it's because it truly seems to balance out considering how many guys both teams are missing. I don't know. Louis, the Niners, we just said it. They're not going to have anybody who started in that NFC Championship game on the field tonight. How do you think that affects San Francisco? Can they keep it competitive?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, Sage. There's no question about that. But I think what this is going to show is the creativity of head coach Kyle Shanahan as far as the run game is concerned. Just look how decimated they are on the perimeter as far as their explosiveness with all the wide receivers that they have out of this game. But if there's one thing that Kyle Shanahan has showed you over the years is the fact that he can scheme up just about anybody in the run game, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to try and shorten this game, keep it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, run the ball downhill, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see them try to take some chances on special teams here and there as far as maybe, fake punts, surprise onside kick in order to give themselves some short fields and some more possessions with which to then go ahead and bleed out the clock. So it's going to take a total team effort for them to stay competitive, but it's a tall task. There's no question about that. You can't lose that many impact players and expect it to be a level playing field.
But you use the word creativity by Kyle Shanahan. That'll be fun to watch, if nothing else. Louis Riddick, Adam Schefter, thank you for now. Kevin?
Sage, we're following a developing story in the NBA. The league's Board of Governors and Players Association are holding separate meetings today with the expectation of an agreement to start the 2020-2021 season on December 22nd and feature a reduced 72-game schedule, sources tell ESPN. Team reps are expected to approve the agreement, according to Adrian Wojnarowski and Zach Lowe. For much more NBA Insider, Brian Windhorst joining us now on SportsCenter. And Wendy, what are you hearing about the meetings today?
Yeah, so the Board of Governors met earlier today. They were given information. A vote wasn't necessary, Kevin, because the deal is in place. They are ready to go. The owners are ready to go, waiting to hear from the players. The players meeting was scheduled to begin at the top of the hour here, and the plan is to hear from all of the team reps to see if there were any issues that were raised as they went out and called and surveyed their teammates. If there are no issues, the expectation is that this could get approved. It may not even take a formal vote. As early as tonight. If there are issues that need to be worked out, it could spill into tomorrow. But everybody is operating as if this thing is going to get approved, and we're going to move forward to the next process, which is transaction season.
Yeah, transaction season. 6 weeks away, of course, if this is discussed and approved on December 22nd to start the season. What's been discussed when it comes to the timing of teams being able to make trades?
Kevin, the teams are ready. The talk over the last 5 or 6 days has been hot and heavy. There's been a lot of talk amongst teams that are high up in the lottery for this draft as teams make pitches for draft slots and for players that are attached to that. And once the approval happens and the salary cap gets set, the new league year can begin shortly. And I talked to league executives today who are preparing to be able to make trades as early as tomorrow. Now, I don't anticipate that to be the case, but if it's not tomorrow, it's not going to be too far off once we have an understanding between the union and the ownership.
You mentioned draft slots. The one thing we do know as of tonight for sure, the NBA draft is less than 2 weeks away. That is November 18th right here on ESPN. Brian Windhorst on SportsCenter.
Still to come on SportsCenter. Don't miss PTI's bonus topic. Tony and Mike assess the 2020 MVP race midway through the season. Plus, the Cowboys QB questions against the Steelers. Inside Mike McCarthy's mentality to have two quarterbacks ready to play on Sunday. Adam Schefter standing by. Also,